Welcome to Just Stitchy. My name is Shemaine, and this is my first floss tube ever. I'm a long armor and a photographer, and I'm excited to do my first floss tube. This is my third time shooting it because my iMovie does not want to cooperate with my Mac or my phone to download. So I'm just gonna upload this with no editing, so hopefully it goes well. Where to start with? I am a mom of two. My son is 23 and is a wind turbine technician, which means he works on those huge wind turbines that you see. His original plan was going to the Marine Corps, but while he was waiting, he got offered a chance at this job, and he likes it and loves the pay. See what my dog's up to. My daughter is 19, just turned 19, is a sophomore at OPSU up in the Panhandle, and is in her undergraduate trying to head towards vet school. She's learning it's a hard road. So my nose itches, I'm sorry. But she is doing really well. It's a very small town near Guyman, which is also a small town. But it was a real perfect fit for her to go into school, start with a smaller school. Next year, she's transferring back to San Angelo to ASU, so I'm excited about that. She'll be either living at home or in her own apartment, whichever she decides, but at least we're in the same town. My cat is literally laying right, not that cat, that is Baker. Baker! Hi, Bakes, look. Say hi. We went to get my daughter a cat a few years back for her anxiety, and these two were very tight, so instead of coming home with one, I came home with two. This here is Atlas. This is Bree's kitty, but really mine. And truthfully, because I had him picked out first, and she had Baker. And then as soon as we switched toting, I was like, fine, you can have him. So Baker's mine and Atlas is hers, but I take care of both of them. I do everything, so really they're mine. But she found out she's not really a cat person where the upkeep is, so it's no biggie. But it added to a house that now has 3 dogs because we adopted a foster we hadn't planned on. And I had a hedgehog, but he passed away about 2 weeks ago. He was 5. He was older, but it broke my heart, and someday I'll get another one. But for now, I'm ready to be a 1 dog, 1 cat household eventually. So, but these are my family, so they're not going anywhere. I'll introduce you to the dogs another time. I started cross stitching when I was about 16. I made my aunt a cross stitch. I didn't start small. It was a teddy bears holding letters that said God is love, and I will do another one with my older projects, and she sent me a picture of it. The great part with that cross stitch was my aunt had she was storing my cousin's motorcycle down in the basement. What they didn't realize was they needed to take the gas out, so my cousin had called and told them they need to degas it to keep it in the house. So when they went to do that, some spilled and was getting sucked into the furnace, and it caught fire. And luckily for my aunt, who was heading out of the room, it went up the laundry chute. They had a laundry chute that went from the different floors. The house was totaled. Thank God they had really great insurance. Everything was covered, but they lost pretty much everything. But my cross stitch wasn't ready from the framer, so luckily I hadn't given it to her yet. And now, wow, I don't even want to say the number of years, but she still has it. And she is now living with my other cousin in Michigan. So I'm hoping for a visit. I've never been to Michigan. So, and if I say so one more time, I really hear myself saying it. I kept cross stitching, and I had the magazines, and I went in the Marine Corps at about 22, and well, I was 21, and I literally was sitting at the MEP station to sign my contract the day Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait. Needless to say, my mother was freaked out. But they kept putting my boot camp off to have more guys go through. So I didn't actually go to boot camp till towards the end of the Gulf War. And but I was still cross stitching, so at my first duty station, on my time off, I would cross stitch, and I ended up meeting my husband in the Marine Corps in California, but we're both from Maryland. My mom loves to tease me that I had to go all the way to California to meet a Maryland guy. Like, yeah. Our parents live about 45 minutes apart. So after we got married, we were driving through Yucca Valley, and there's a cross stitch store we always pass. And I was like, babe, can we stop? Because normally our work hours, I could not get there. So we stopped in, and it turned out it was half cross stitch, half quilting. Great cross stitch and stuff, but I got really fascinated with the quilting side. Little did I know, I knew my grandmother sewed, was an amazing seamstress. She died when my mom was 15, so a lot of stuff I didn't know about her. But she'd always dreamed of quilting at some day after the kids had gotten a little older and stuff, because there was 7 of them, 6 girls and 1 boy. But so I guess it was in the genes, because I was fascinated after that and pretty much dove in trying to figure out how to quilt. Being a Marine with my hours, it was kind of difficult. But then we got to Okinawa, and I found there was a teacher, a lady that taught, another wife that taught Quilt in a Day by Eleanor Burns kind of stuff. And then there's also a German wife who taught hand quilting. So I got into both. And I am huge, of course, I'm a long armor. I love quilting. But every once in a while, I still pull out some cross stitch. But the early cross stitching wasn't necessarily my aesthetic. So I think that, and the expense of just framing, because that's what you did, I kind of put it to the wayside. But while I was in Oklahoma, I went to Oklahoma to assistant coach soccer ended up happening through my daughter who played soccer there. Her coach asked me if I wanted to and help recruit, and I said yes. I've been dying to do that level. So it was volunteer. So I went up to the Panhandle of Oklahoma to coach. And they had just gotten done their first season, which was a mess. Lost players. The goalkeeper quit a week before the first game. And so my daughter, who wasn't even supposed to play that season due to a back injury, she was recovering from. He spoke with her, and she hadn't played goalkeeper since U12. She's a midfielder, if you know anything about soccer. And so she said she would, and she played amazing. But a lot of games, they had 9 players, some 7. She was getting shot on relentlessly. It got to the point where just catching the ball hurt her back. And then she was having a really great game, but got hit by one girl with a brace on her knee, and then dove in, and a girl caught either the ball really close up, caught her, or the girl's foot. She went out at halftime with her 2nd ever concussion. if you've ever been through a concussion with a child, it's just hard. Terrifying. I mean, it's the brain. She should have been in a dark room for a week. There's all kinds of stuff, but and it makes schooling very difficult because the brain isn't functioning for a while like it should. So she missed the last part of the season, and I got up there in January. I'm gonna have another cat come through. This is Baker, who loves to sit up on my chest. So I went up in January, and they literally only had 4 players left from the team. And she had decided she wasn't going to play, but then she was trying to be the team manager, and that didn't work. She was heartbroken. So I took her to a chiropractor that was recommended. Amazing chiropractor. He listened to what was going on. He was not happy with what the doctors had told her. And so he worked on her, and she was teary-eyed when she stood up and was like, "Mom, I don't feel any pain." I was like, ugh. But so she was starting to get back in. She was working out. She was starting to run, but her back still hurts. She's actually missing about this much of her spine. And so she decided about February. She said, "Mom, if I can't do what the other girls do, even though I can still have playing time," she's like, "it's not fair. I'm not going to play." So she retired. It's still really rough. Soccer, that was her de-stressor, her home. She calls it her second home. So she's still struggling. Still struggling just to run and work out. Poor baby. But so I was up there with her. But to coach, I really needed to coach as long as I wanted. I needed a paying gig. So I put in for a job. And on the campus as the housing coordinator. And we left, that was the morning I was leaving for spring break. I had my interview. The campus is 6.5 hours from my home in Texas. And so I was heading home. Bree was not far behind me. About 5 minutes before I got to the house, I got the phone call, I got the job. Then, and while we're in spring break, COVID had already started, but not really at the school. But they ended up deciding while we were on spring break, they were going online for the rest of the semester. My daughter got to stay home, and I had to go back to campus. Now, she did go back to campus to pack, like all the other ones, and get her stuff. But then she went back home. So I was basically trying to learn my job through COVID, through the kids packing, or some kids couldn't get back, so we secured their stuff. And it was crazy. And I was somewhat jealous because I wasn't cross-stitching yet. I was still quilting and listening, and everybody was quilting and getting projects done. And I was still visiting quilt stores because, again, we hadn't really gotten hit with any of it. We are still open in Goodwill. And so, but I was working my butt off. My job required me to actually be available 24/7. You know, air conditioner goes out, water goes out. Because we still had people, instructors, and some people living in housing. And actually, we had some students who didn't have a second plan that we had on campus also. And so I had to make sure they were taken care of and safe. So I loved my job. It kind of connected with the logistical side of my Marine Corps career. But then we started getting ready. I even ended up in quarantine thanks to my head RA came in. Her boyfriend came in. They spent a day together, and then he left, and me and her parents had lunch. And that afternoon she called to say her boyfriend, who worked at a hospital, when he went back, he had to be tested. So He was positive, so we all went into quarantine. Got tested numerous times. Hers came back positive, mine came back negative, and but we had the same symptoms. It was crazy. Exactly the same thing, felt the same way. Hers was positive, mine was negative. Neither one of us had a temperature the whole time. 99.8, I think, was her highest. 99.4 was mine. Crazy. But it was bad timing because we were getting ready for the students to come back on campus, starting with the football team. And so we were moving athletes in, and everything was hunky-dory. And then not long after I went off quarantine, my boss resigned. And I always told him if he left, I was leaving. But he was like, hold up, don't do that. You know, stay the course. I was like, okay. So I stayed, but things went crazy. And then COVID started hitting different teams, and I just decided, because everything wasn't quite the way it should be, that I was going home. I told my husband, I'm like, I have a house in Texas. I have an autoimmune disease. I don't need to be risking myself for this. And so I came home. And I had my long arm sitting here, so I'm back to that and enjoying being in Texas. I loved Oklahoma, but I love Texas too. But the story of that was, I didn't have a TV in Oklahoma. So I watched a lot of YouTube. Like, I was watching Pat Sloan and Alex Anderson and Lorraine Turner, Facebook Live. And I guess through them and my embroidery, I was getting into embroidery. Flosstube kicked in. Someone's Flosstube kicked in. And I was like, what's this? And I started watching, and I was hooked. And I was watching more and more. So I was like, wait, no cross stitch store near me. So I had all my quilting stuff with me, thinking I would, in my off time, be able to quilt, work too much. And I would be too tired when I got home to stand and do all the moving around that quilting requires with cutting, sewing, and ironing. So I dug through some. I did have some projects with me. I'll show you one. This was one I started while I was trying to get some supplies on hand. I need to get back to this one. I think it's going to be really pretty. The variegated thread is awesome. I think it was just a chart I picked up at Stitching Post in Maryland, one of the places I shop when I'm home, and or it was the one in Reisterstown, but I don't remember what that shop was called. That's where my husband's family's from. So, and then I found this one also, and I actually think I picked it up in a quilt store for some reason. It just made me pick it up. And, but I didn't have the supplies, so I ordered those. And I need to say, here I am, back to cross stitching, and I am loving it. On Flosstube, I will give some shout outs to the ones who got me started, and this is crazy because there are a lot. I started in May. Hands On Design was the first Flosstube I watched with Kathy Haberman. Now, it took me forever to get Haberman down, because every time I saw Haber, my mind went to the movie P.S. I Love You and would want to say Habersham. I don't know why, but it did. And then in July, there was Fancy Lady Cross Stitch, Julie McConnell from Reflections, who I love. That was really bad for me to start watching Julie with her chart a day. I was like, oh my gosh. And then the Kindred Stitchers, Deb and Liz, I love them. They're from Lancaster, PA. And I have been to Lancaster. My sister-in-law has taken me twice, I think, my mother-in-law. And we went for quilting, but yeah, the Kindred Stitchers are awesome, and Enablers also, because their projects are great. I love that Liz does smalls, which when I had originally started, they really didn't do smalls, so that has me fascinated for quick projects, and Deb's projects are amazing. Then I found Jan Hicks, who is now in Texas, so hopefully I'll get to meet her at some point. Mischeivous Stitches Lori, she's got me hooked into a couple projects too. Just keep stitching Pam and Steph. They do make me laugh. Once Upon a Stitch with Lori. These are all very different Flosstubers too. In August, Once Upon a Stitcher, I think. I did not finish writing that down. Kindred Stitcher, loving her. Tiffinstitches, her finishing is crazy. Not exactly my style. I'm like, I think I can get partially there, but her bows are amazing. I'm like intimidated by those. Stitchin Mommy, Celeste Creates. One of my new favorites, Elizabethanncanstitch. She's also in Texas. We have a lot of the same projects on queue and stuff, so that's awesome. Nicola Parkman from Hands Across the Sea. I have learned so much about samplers through watching her, and they're amazing. I just love the reproductions. Javagirl Stitches, Christy, again, incredible. Cynthia Brew, can't think of her actual handle, but that started in September, and then Valerie was stitching in the barn. And I will hit the, I see I have a whole nother list. And actually there's some since then I have added too. This is my book. And when I'm watching Flosstubes, I'm taking notes of charts and threads that I like. So, yeah, so let's go to haul. And I have a lot of haul. It's actually going to be split between a couple because I have been collecting haul for quite a while and stuff. So, I'm mad that I came back so late into Lizzie Kate's, but I've been collecting. I have here, whoop, that goes with that. Stitching Forever. Let me put this over here. This one is Inspiration Boxer B41. This one's B35. Summer Baskets. I had these separated so different during the first one and could tell you where I got them, but through doing it the third time, they are just all stacked together. I had to recollect them. Summer ABCs. I know I got some from 123 and some on eBay. Like this, I want to do the Christmas rules, but this is the only one I have so far is Fa La La, which is called F99. And then I'm not going to pull them out because y'all know I got all the tingles. I collect those because I'm big on Halloween with my daughter being born in October. She was actually due on Halloween. My kids are crazy. So I found out I was pregnant with my son on my husband's birthday. He was due April Fool's Day, but he didn't come till April 4th. My daughter, I found out about, I had some testing done on our anniversary, and of course with x-rays, they're like, could you be pregnant? I'm like, always possible. And so they tested me and I ended up pregnant on our anniversary, and she was due October 31st. I was like, what is with the holidays? But she was, from the get-go, she was ready to come. And their personalities are just like that. He hates change. Well, she used to not mind change. She's kind of gone the other way now. Hopefully she stays that. She's adventurous. She has wanderlust like me, so she still has that part of her. And then I had never seen a Biscornu until Liz on Country Stitcher showed them, and they kind of fascinated me, but I really wasn't planning on doing one until I saw this pattern, and I just had to. Oh my gosh, is he not awesome, this octopus? And there's a few more since that I like, some birds ones, and there's a hedgehog one. Oh my gosh, I've got to get. There's also a hedgehog Christmas ornament that I found, I think at 123, that I'm going to get to stitch in memory of Rory, my hedgehog. Well, through Deb on Country Stitchers, she is doing, she's done 2 different ones of the Little House Needleworks Hometown Holiday, and I really love them, and I love like the improvisation she's done on them. So I plan on doing 1 or 2 of them. Looking like at the amount I bought when I went to what was that store? I will think of it. But it's down in San Antonio. Wow. It's not going to come until I stop thinking about it. So I will just show you. I picked all these up down in San Antonio. The first one is the Chorus Quartet. Grandma's House. Now, I did not grow up with a grandma. I only grew up with one grandfather. And so this is going to be Grandpa's house more than likely. And it kind of actually looks like his house, which is crazy. The Needlework Shop. I miss my grandpa. He's been gone since 2004, I believe. The Quilt Shop. Of course, I gotta have a quilt shop. The Schoolhouse. You can't have a town without a schoolhouse. Hometown Holiday. Duh. What is this? Firehouse. My husband is a fireman, was a fireman in the Marine Corps. He's now an instructor at the military school for them, so I had to have that. Me and my daughter love books, so here's the bookstore. And then the pet store, of course. Have to have a pet store in our family. We actually say go to the rescue for ours, but that's okay. Well, it's still not going to come to me which shop I went to. But they have, Jan Hicks did a video of this store, and their models are amazing. I could have spent quite a bit of time looking there, but my husband was sitting out in the truck because he thought he would get lost trying to go to Bass Pro Shop, even though it's a straight shot. I'm always the navigator in our house, so hopefully next time either I drop him or he drops me, because they are like very close to each other. But I saw this on the wall and it brought back memories. My dad was a bus driver. My dad was a jack of all trades, kind of like me. Well, me like him. At the time when I was young, he was a bus driver in DC. And they would do trips, and sometimes he would come get us. Like we had a trip to Hershey Park. He came get us one morning. This weekend, my brothers were camping for Boy Scouts, and he called to see if we wanted to go. And it was to Philadelphia. So I got to go see the Liberty Bell, Constitution Hall, and have their huge soft pretzels, which I love soft pretzels. So, well, I love bread. So, which turned out not to be a good thing because my dad is a baker. That is his final job. And yeah, so I got Let Freedom Ring. I cannot wait to do this. I had tried twice on 2 shops to get the fabric I want for it, but they were out, so I'm gonna have to look some more. So that one's not kitted yet. Also, while I was there, Stitches from the Heart is the name of the shop. Yes, Stitches from the Heart. I've been looking for a pattern from my big toe, thanks to Lori. Sorry, maximum file size. No, 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 keep going. Oh, it's the Francis Drake one. Disturb Us. But they didn't have that. They had this Quaker Rejoice. And thank God I looked through because I almost ordered this again. But I love this. I love the colors. And when I started getting into samplers, I started thinking, I was like, I wonder, you know, I started researching Maryland's samplers, and then I tried to find a pattern. I found one actual reproduction pattern, and it's called Sands House Sampler. It's from Queenstown Sampler Designs, and it's Annapolis, Maryland, 1816. And I have hung out in Annapolis when I was younger. I love Annapolis. If you ever have the chance to go, it is amazing. And if you go to the Army-Navy game there, oh wow, the atmosphere is crazy. Like I said, I'm also into Halloween. I started watching Niecy also, and she also had this, but she's already gotten the box. I also had trouble finding the box, and they had one left, and it was like buried under something. It was smaller than I thought it was going to be, which made it harder to actually, like, you're looking for a certain size. But you can also find this box online if they still have them in. They were on sale the other week. I need to get one more. But my daughter's even made a request, I think for this one is the one she requested me to make her. But I'm doing them all for me. And then Midnight Watch, which I'm excited to also do. See, I have a black cat thing going also. So I think on my Halloween wall, I'm going to have a black cat area. So stop with the session. Mill Hill. I got this one. There's another one with an owl that I'm planning on getting and kind of putting them, like, because the tree goes the opposite way together. Me and my daughter, if you can't tell, me and my daughter hung out a lot through soccer, so we have a really close relationship. Because her soccer, she literally had, when she started playing competitive soccer, we had to travel. The first time we had to travel south, the first season, for about 3.5 hours to San Antonio, Austin area. And then the next season they started playing in Dallas, which was again about 3.5. And then the next season they went to Plano, which was a total of 4 hours. And we went every other weekend and sometimes every weekend. And so we spent a lot of time traveling together. We love Camelot. Anything King Arthur we are like fascinated with. If you haven't watched the show Merlin, from BBC, it is a great show. It is funny. It will make you cry. We have not finished watching it because, of course, you know the end, what happens with King Arthur in the end, and we haven't made it to the end. So, but I wanted something similar, so this reminded me of it, Camelot. I missed the kit the first time I found it, and the second time, which actually saved me $5, I was like, I'm getting it. But I told my daughter I was getting it. She hasn't seen what it looks like. I said, you will eventually get it, but it is hanging on my wall for a while before. It's a lot of work. And she was like, no problem, Mom. This came in free with one of my patterns. And it was, oh, I think it came in with the Maryland sampler. They sent me this cute little smalls pattern. Love Never Fails, 1881. So that is my haul. Oh no, wait, that is not my haul. Hi, Aston. Now my dogs are in here. Do you need to go potty? I can't. You're gonna have to wait, because I can't edit. Lay down, guys. Lay down. Lay down. Hold on, maybe if I adjust, oh, I don't have pause, that ain't gonna work. Maybe I do. Okay, Okay, I'm back. I forgot my fabrics. While I was at Stitches from the Heart, I got some Country Vintage Mocha. This is just one piece. I already have one piece in a project. This is one of my eBay. It's Liberty something. They abbreviate it. Wish Upon a Star, and it's called Peri Berry. I don't have my board anymore. I got rid of. Let me see if this will help a little bit. I really love this. Don't know what I'm going to use it for yet, but I am. See, very pretty. Lavender. I'm not going to pull all these out, but this was a haul I got from eBay, and it was only like, I think this came to like under 20 I won it for. See what else. Whoop. Oh, this, whoop, I almost lost that. Stay. This is Antique Whites, Lugana, and it's really pretty, and I got a yard of it for a really great price on eBay. And then this is Glen Ellen 30 count. It's really pretty green. It's kind of see-through, so I don't know how well I'm gonna like it, but I thought it was really pretty, and it's worth maybe doing a smalls or something. This is Tycho Newcastle 40 count. I haven't actually stitched on 40 count yet. This, I really like this. It has a not very antique-y look to the cream, very creamy. This is Autumn Leaves. Also a very loose, so I'm not sure how I'm gonna like it as far as the looseness, but the color I love. It's 32 count, which is, I have one project I'm stitching on 32 count right now. This one, I was so in love with Mushroom, but you couldn't tell, and I didn't catch that it has gold in it. So I'm not really sure how I feel about it or what kind of project I'm going to use it in. If you use this in a project and you love it, let me know, because I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to use it. And then this is 27 count bleached Danish linen. It's a very pretty white, also creamy white. And another shimmery one, but I like this one. Crystal Chalice Lugana, 32 counts. It's very pretty. And then in quilting, I learned to what's called sky dyes. The sky dye paint reacts to the sun. And another, on one of my quilting videos, I will show you all the fabric I have that I have sky dyed. But I wanted to try, I haven't tried it on linen yet, but I did. Well, first I did a coffee one on, because I needed some a tan for a pumpkin project. So let me see if I put this behind it. I coffee dyed this one. I already used half of it, so it's already on the project. And oh wait, that wasn't the coffee dye. What were the coffee? Oh, sorry. Those were some little pieces that came in one. This is the, I thought it didn't look right. This is the coffee dye one, and you can kind of see some little marbling and stuff. And I liked it. It's come out pretty well. It is great for the project I picked. But these are the sky dye ones. And what I do is I pick my colors, and I kind of stayed within a single color monotone for this. And then I scrunched them up and I put them in the sun. And then to heat set, I iron them. So, and it's a 14 count Ada I did it on. And this is my orange. And I love it. And my blue is so striking. I haven't figured out what I'm going to use it for because it's so striking. But this is my blue. I did realize my paints, some of them are old and I'm out of some of them. So I have to I order them on Dharma, I believe is the site. They're called Set a Color. And they have all kinds of colors. They seem to be out of a good many colors. So I'm thinking with the pandemic and people are really using them. So I gotta get back on and see if some of the other colors that I wanted are back in stock. So next is my whips. Last time I did it in like a different way because I have some, it's October and I had some sales I was doing for October, but now we're in November, so I'll just show you all my whips. Oh, one other thing I got, it was actually free, was, this looks terrible, is this yarn from the Yarn Club. It's jeans. It's a mess because my dog got hold of it one day when I left them too long by themselves. And all I had to pay was the shipping. It's very soft. And it came with a pattern too. I believe, yeah. Yarn and pattern kit. Oh, and I also got this, which is Natural Dublin, 25 count. Okay, so like I said, this is actually one of the projects I'm gonna start. It's already kitted up. I got all the threads, and I'm excited to get that one started. I'm also starting this. My cousin is a nurse, and a few of my good friends, so I have to get a few more of these. I really don't need the pattern, but they have charms, so I'm gonna have to order the whole pattern to get the charms I need. Unless I can just find nursing charms that work as well. One of the projects, Sal's, that I'm working on still with that Lori from Mischeivous Stitches got me started in, was this 12 Days of Christmas. Now I had finished this block and I was getting ready to do it and realized I was off and it was just way too close. So I frogged it and started over, and I finally got this far, and I kind of changed my threads in it. Originally it was just a gray, a silver, and this, which I love, this variegated, which I'll show you in a sec. But I even changed this to a different one because the first one was too puffy compared to this, so I went with a different thread. So I am using, this is where the other country vintage mocha went to. This is what this is on. I want to get this right on. Oh, where did all my cards go? This grime guard I actually love, and it came very quickly. I mean, as soon as I saw it, I wanted to order it. And I don't see the card right now. Dang it. Mindful. I will figure it out. And it also came with this cute little, she sent this cute needle minder. But my threads here, I totally changed. It's crazy that I went through a process that I actually got these threads at a yarn store here at Yarn, and she carries needlepoint also. So I started more or less with these two colors, although I changed to this particular silver. I don't know if you can see how well you can see the variegation there. Then I added, hey, watch your nails, this gold. Not as bright as the original one I planned on, but I think I like it. It just didn't show as well right there. And then because there's snow in number 2 in a couple other places, I added white. And then there was call for a black originally for like the duck and stuff, but I wanted to go with this brown. And most of these are wildflowers by Karen, and they are gorgeous, and I like working with them. And the gray and white are Threadworks, and I just dropped it, but that's okay. But this is actually Claret is the name of it, and it is just gorgeous. So those are my threads for that one. And I'm really enjoying doing, this is a Plum Street, and it's on their blog for free a couple years back. So if you don't have them, you can go back. The funny thing was I already have them saved when Lori talked about doing it. So I'm like, that's a sign. I need to do that one. Can you hear my cat playing? And then Julie Conley from Reflections in October did a Out of the Stash at Last. So you picked old projects that you either carried with you to retreats and stuff, which I didn't have any cross stitch ones, so retreats that I went to, but I've always had projects hanging about. And this one I think a friend gave me, because originally it was her birthstone, but they were out of her birthstones. They actually put a different one in there. It's a Mill Hill bead, Renaissance Angels, but instead of the amethyst, it has an aquamarine, and I'm born in March, so I was meant to do this one. And in the week I did this, so we did 4, 1 each week, and that's how far I got on this one. And this is the first time I started stitching in hand, and I actually enjoy it. So, and that is really fun. Now, these are the colors, all the colors. I'm really excited about that one. And all the beads are in here. I actually bought something to put all the beads to make it easier to work with. I believe this was week 2 was right here. I didn't bring the actual stitching in because it's on a lap frame in my other room. This was one from my mom, and she actually had stitched this the top of the pole and just a hint of the blue. Now I had gotten pretty far into the blue right here and realized I was off, and I thought about fudging it, but see where the stars, it would have been really hard. So, and the different shades of blue. So I frogged it and have a little bit back done, but I will get there. I'm excited to get this one done. I show you, these are all the colors in this. My mom already had it kitted, gave me the kit, and of course the fabric, and so, and actually working on a lap frame, which I hadn't done for cross stitching, I was enjoying that also. I'm going to be looking for different ones though. Then week 3, I pulled out this one, and this is from my dad's wife. Gave me this project, I think back when I was in the Marine Corps, and it had been sitting there, and she also gave me the black fabric, which had been sitting inside the chart. I kitted it up, and this is how far I got. Maybe if I put this, it might look just a hair. There we go. The stitching is really rhythmic and just kind of lulls you and stuff. This kit, what is crazy is if you see right here, there's a little more black. You can actually add your own names. So my mom lost a couple classmates, and my dad is looking at some names from Atlantic City to see if any of those were his. My uncle actually made it back through 2 tours, and he had also served in Korea. He's still fighting the good fight. He's amazing. He's the oldest, and him and my dad's third oldest, and they're the only two boys left. They were also out 7. 5 boys, 1 sister, and a half sister. So, and then this is one of the projects I thought I had brought with me up there, but I ended up leaving it here. And I didn't realize how far I was until I pulled it out. This is what isn't she cute? I also found out while going through my magazines that she has a partner. So I'm going to have to do the second one also now. But here she is. I had all this already done, all of her done. Well, there was a night I wanted to stitch, but my brain really wasn't into anything difficult. So I just kicked out this border, and it was so soothing to work on. So I can't wait to get her done. And she's on 14 count Aida. I'm going to show you that one. And then, also, I did forget one out of the stash, which is this one. I went through my magazines for the week 4. And I pulled out Santa without his hat. Isn't he cute? And all the little buttons. So that's what I'm working on. I'm working on him. And hold on here. He's on Aida. And I was worried that because it called for a different, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to edge. So I kind of went this way instead of just working through his face. And here are the colors for him. I am doing away with the bobbins slowly and going to just that way of having my threads. Because I don't know if you can't see behind me up on the wall where my son used to hang his hats or my pegs from the workshops. And I think I'm going to hang my threads back there on those. I'm going to get the little hooks for like showers and stuff and hang them in and put the threads on those. I'm hoping that'll work. I also started a pumpkin style with Cynthia Brew, but I didn't get very far with that one because of the other ones. This is my I don't have the pattern. It's just a pattern, so I can't show it to you. It's a white pumpkin with some vines across it, and these are my colors. And I don't know if you get it. One dropped out. And then, because I want to show you with what I'm going to do. I had a second pumpkin. Where are you at? Here's that. And I just got to show you these colors because they are amazing. I also don't have the pattern, but this is a second pumpkin with a lot of things within the pumpkin. And these are the colors I'm going to use for Halloween-y stuff. Oh, I'm trying to make this quick, not a really long one, but I apologize. Okay. That on my whip. Well, that was those whips. These are the whips I've had going for a long term that have been set aside through parenting and soccer. The first one comes from this chart. United States Marine Corps. I'll just show you part. So I did this one for my husband. That's the enlisted. And we had a really great friend. So I'm doing this version for him. He helped us a lot. He was my husband's boss. We went through a really rough spot physically, mentally, and he was there for us. So I got to take out this hoop, but this is what I have going so far. And then it'll have the rifle, the sword, and then his cover right there. And there's like numerous other ones I'm going to do from that. There's a small female cover, but I want to try and do the dress blue cover female cover, the old one, because now they've gone to the new one and I'm not happy, but try and do the old one for me. We'll see. That's going to take some designing because it's a different shape. And then I had a British neighbor friend, great friend, and so I was doing a cottage and I was doing this one in Okinawa. And I don't know what made me stop, but this is how far I was. I think I just took a break and then things just got away from me and I haven't gotten back to it, but I will. And there's going to be a lot of confetti because of the flowers and stuff. So those are my wicks for right now. I think that's about it for today. I do have one thing, since this is my first one. I had ordered a subscription to Just Cross Stitch, and I was supposed to get the Halloween issue as part of it. Well, it took so long to process that I ended up getting the Christmas ornament issue, and which was unfortunate because I had just bought one instead of buying the Halloween one. I did find a Halloween one, so I do have a Halloween one now. But as you can see, I have two. So I want to do a giveaway, hopefully in time for Christmas, so whoever gets it can at least finish one of the ornaments. There are some really cute ones in here. So if you would like a copy of Christmas ornaments, don't say giveaway, sweepstakes. You have to be 18 so you can give me your address. Use the word reindeer down below, and next week we'll see who wins Christmas ornaments. It may be sooner since this one is later than planned and I want you to get this, so I may work on the other video in a couple days. Have a great weekend. Keep stitching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.